shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
Hello, everybody. Listen, the sound is really bad right now because the sound went out of my microphone. It's not there, but I'm fixing it. I had already hit go live. We're already here. That's just what's happening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you can hear me a little teeny tiny bit while there we go. See, already back. Already back. Ba-ba-da-ba. Thank you for being here. It's Oh No America. What is this blue doing on behind me? What's going on around here? What's going on? Boom. Now we're on Oh No America. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, everybody. Guys, what is happening? I was all ready, right, to basically, keep going into Project 2025, which we need to do. However, asterisk, what is going on? What is happening, guys? This is so wild right now because MAGA is like eating itself. I don't know what happened. Well, I kind of know what happened. Let's go over it here a little bit. First and foremost, let's pimp out some merch here, guys. Thank you so far for the orders that have come in. But guys, we still got a sale going on. We still got the sale going on. It's right here. 15% off everything. Guys, I just made a new water bottle. I actually have that coming on the way. We've got our Samuel Jackson line. We've got our Regina George line. We've got the Oh No America line. We've got hats. Look at this. Look at this mug. Look how cute that is. Okay? And the sticker. Get yourself something. Get somebody else something. Happy New Year. It's still Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Okay? This sale will be going through the 1st. So get in on it before then. Tasty, frosty beverage. Okay. And just for, guys, we're on page 93. Council on Environmental Quality. That's where we left off. And we're doing good. We're almost at 2,900 hours here on this channel. So close, guys, to monetization. All right. Let's start our journey of what happened with MAGA. 4 hours ago, Donald Trump truthed this tweet from Elon. Okay? So Donald Trump, somebody on Donald Trump's team took a screenshot of Elon's tweet and then he truthed it. Okay? So Elon had said on X, on Twitter, right? Anyone of any race, creed, or nationality who came to America and worked like hell to contribute to this country will forever have my respect. Does that include my grandpa, Elon, who came here as an illegal immigrant and helped build the Golden Gate Bridge and fought in World War II on submarines? He was a hardworking man. America is the land of freedom and opportunity. Fight with every fiber of your being to keep it that way. Now, this is a tweet from December 27th. This is when all the shitteth had hitteth the fanneth. Okay, so what is the response to this truth, you ask? Okay, let's see. All right, so this guy, MBP, who is I think that's Pakistani, or I don't know what flag that is in the background there. Tucker said in just 4 years, 2009 to 2013, that F1 optional practical training program replaced nearly 500,000 American jobs. The program allows foreign students who studied in American universities to stay in the country after they graduate. My take, Elon's take, is not America first, okay? So, this person, the H-1B isn't the only issue. Look into F1 student visas as well. Okay. So they got a lot to say about this. Okay. Right. This is Joe McHuston. That's actually a problem. We want American citizens first and not foreign programs that government granted other countries ahead of our own people. We don't want special privilege foreigners. It's a time for American patriotism. These two comic people look drunk. They're not well drawn. Yeah. Also, his sweater looks dirty. I don't understand what's happening. Why are his pants rolled up? And then he has like weird generic 50s shoes. Like, I don't understand. This person's just going to post Melania. Will you also retruth him telling your base to fuck their faces and calling them subtards? You went full rogue on U.S. citizens before even been sworn in yet. Okay. Right? Yeah. And that's so I'm going to go over here. Elon did tweet this. It's right here, December 27th. Okay. And replying to Steve Mackey. Okay. Does politics, religion, and memes. He has 12,000 followers. This is, Elon cares about this a lot. Okay. This was his reply, right? Stop trying to optimize something that shouldn't exist. Let's optimize H-1B. Then this person says, Elon, stop trying to optimize something that shouldn't exist. Everyone's been trained in high school and college that you answer the question, convergent logic. You can't tell the professor your question is dumb or you get a bad grade. You have to answer the question. So everyone without knowing basically has this mental straitjacket on, and they'll work on optimizing the thing that simply should not exist.
Okay? Everyone's wrong, no matter who you are. The sort of 5-step process.
So hang on.
First, make your requirements less dumb. Your requirements.
Why is this coming through here? I need the sound to come through. Okay, let's try that again.
Are definitely dumb.
Nope. I hate when this happens, guys, when it's just like things should be going through. You guys can hear me through the microphone, right? Through this one, which it should be. No. Okay, how about now? Now you guys can hear me? This is so wild.
Dumb.
No. Okay. Uh-huh. No. I don't know how this got changed. Let's try now.
The sort of 5-step process. First, make your requirements less dumb.
What's this?
Your requirements are definitely dumb.
What was that? That's awful. Yes. I don't know what's happening. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Elon has gotten himself in, there you go, in a lot of trouble here in recent days. Yeah, I don't understand. I probably have to restart my computer again. Anyway. Yeah. I don't know, guys. So you can hear me now. The plumber did it. I know. Well, there's no plumber here now. That's just one of my teens over there playing. But you guys should be able to, like, nothing is coming through here now. I don't know. This is, let me see if it's a settings issue over here, because everything looks like it should be fine now. And it's not. So, oh, that's what's happening. Okay. So let's do that. And let's do that. And now let's try it again. Nope. Uh-huh. Can you guys still hear me? The first time I played it, you could, yeah, that's because it was coming out of my MacBook speakers. So. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Okay, so now that's working. Da-da-da-da-da-da. No, I still can't hear Elon, and this is upsetting. Because, anyway, we'll go back to the post, okay? So then this person put this, interview of Elon up where he was talking, and he's got like his Kim Jong-un hair here, right? And he didn't like that. He didn't like that. So then he told this person in no uncertain terms to go fuck their face. Right? The reason I'm in America with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong is because of H-1B. That is the foreign worker visa, H-1B. Okay. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue with the likes of you, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. So, the replies to this have been, right, because that was a Tropic Thunder quote from the Tom Cruise character, right, where he's got all this stuff and he tells people he's going to fuck their face. Yeah. So people are still, they're still like going back and forth on this one. Who's been silenced? Like, there's so many people, guys. Time to come out of the closet. I've been considering H-1B myself as a vital approach to integrate highly skilled foreigners who love America with a loyal heart. Right? So this is, I personally am fine with reforming H-1B, as I've stated multiple times today. I'm incredibly grateful you and many others are in the country because of H-1B. I do, however, think it's appropriate to be critical of a program that's so obviously filled with abuse. So this is a person who used H-1B to become a Chippendales dancer, right? And he went on such a tirade that he took people's check marks away. He took, Laura Loomer's, all of her subs away, right? Yeah, I missed 2016 Trump. Okay. So Nikki Fuentes here, little Nikki Fuentes, America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes. Okay. Yeah. He is, one of the alt-right's darlings. Okay. Christ is King, America First. Sure, sure, sure. And of course, he broadcasts on Rumble. I'm sorry. His pin tweet is, I told you so. Okay. Majority Leader John Thune, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. It'll be different this time, right? This ain't your grandpa's libertarian Zionism. We're gay. Like, this is, So he's very, very upset. He's despicable, for sure. Best and brightest is the new diversity is our strength. This is a Project 2025 Bible thumper. Okay. There are 1,513 H-1B employees at Tesla. Yeah, of course there are. Did you think Elon was hiring American engineers to do all that work? Elon told Trump's base to go fuck themselves in the face for opposing cheap foreign labor, and MAGA influencers are trying to spin that into a win. It's disgusting, and you should never forget this episode. And here he is, guys, because in his, here's Nikki Fuentes. Listen to what Nick says at the end. But you guys can't hear it. I can't hear it. I got to fix that later. But, right. They certainly don't agree with us as a consequence because personnel is policy. We are going to get to America last. Immigration and foreign policy. Yep. And we shouldn't have voted for it, I guess. The only here is the white pill. The only white pill is hopefully they will betray everything that they stand for. And hopefully there will be a cataclysm under their watch and it will discredit them as well as the Democrats. I think Trump is a cool guy. The coping and damage control that is happening over this H-1B row, like scuffle, okay, is unbelievable. Tech bros claiming the whole debate was some sort of left-wing psyop and Trump shills declaring victory, even though Trump came out on Elon's side and nobody talking about the censorship. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, this is, guys, it's just like dessert. I don't know how this happened so quickly. I don't know how the maggots started eating themselves. Then you have this guy who's another far right, slightly offensive with Elijah Schaffer. I don't know how all these like American Jewish guys, okay, Elijah, became far alt-right maggots. Like it doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know. Right? I host a show on the internet. Something worst show on the internet. Awesome. Slightly offensive. Okay. So you can go to censored.tv for his. Okay. Like this is the type of attitude, right? This is the attitude of the whole alt-right. Merry Christmas, everyone. I just wanted to announce that after thinking long and hard about my offensive worldview and insensitive statements I make on X, I've decided to double down and become more fundamentally right-wing and apologize to absolutely no one. Cheers. I mean, that quote to me sums up like the MAGA philosophy. Boom. The MAGA bro right there, 100%. The woke right refers to white Christian men pointing out systems like DEI have actively discriminated against them. They say it's the same as the left because they also mention discrimination. They both say discriminated, so they are both woke. There is no woke right. What? Oh, good. He went on InfoWars, guys. I'll be live in approximately 5 minutes on InfoWars for an honest assessment of X, Musk, and thus this past week ahead in 2025. Is he on? Is it a thing? Oh, good. Alex is back, guys. InfoWars is back. And I can't play it for you guys. I'll probably, yeah. Okay, there's 118,000 people watching fucking Alex Jones. I thought he got banned from doing this show because he went bankrupt and he had to pay the Sandy Hook people bazillion dollars. Deep State launches bird flu scare, pushes experimental jab just weeks ahead of Trump inauguration. I didn't realize he was still a thing. I didn't realize this started 11 hours ago. He just plays it on a loop. It's just on a loop. I got to fix my sound, guys. I apologize. So what happened, MAGA? We were all content to find out how we were going to become indentured servants here. And yeah, Alex Jones somehow has a broadcast on Twitter. And I was just trying to get through Project 2025, guys. I was just trying to get through Project 2025. But MAGA is already eating itself, like, to death. How did this occur? I mean, I'm not sad. No, Alex Jones apparently isn't in the pokey. Apparently he's not in the pokey, hokey pokey. Turn yourself around, right? He's not. He's, fucking broadcasting. Yeah. So, guys, this is, yes, Melania did come in via the H1. Not every single one of Trump's brides did, right? Because he just had the one American mistress lady that is Tiffany's mom. I can't remember if they got married or not. But yeah, now the sound is gone. Can you guys hear me still? Oh, God, good Lord. Narrator, this is a fabulous comment. I'm really trying to follow the MAGA meltdown, but it's hard because I don't speak knees. Yes. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I don't know what's happening with the rest of the sound. I really do got to fix that before I do my next stream anywhere else. I don't know. I hit mute or something somewhere. I don't understand. It's really driving me nuts though, guys, that I couldn't play that video for you, you know? Yeah, I still can't hear it. But look at his hair. It's so Kim Jong-un. Good Lord. But yeah, guys, if you go on Twitter, all you have to, let me move nope, I can't. Let me move myself to the other side. All you have to search for on the twits, okay, is you just go in the search bar here, okay, and type in this, Elon Musk H1B. And you're going to, I'm following Elon, of course, you know, this is my ohnomerica profile. But people are not nice. Reminder that Elon Musk is on ketamine, on Asperger's, because they can't say, I guess Asperger's is a banned word, on Ozempic, a foreigner, a major H-1B employer. His first reaction about H-1B visas was to lie. When he was proven wrong, he lost it and started insulting and threatening Americans. He clearly went into a psychotic episode. He cannot be allowed anywhere near the American government. Oh, he's vaxxed too. Ah! Oh, how could I forget? He's vaccinated. Inspired by Trump, Iran appoints local billionaire Ilonai Moskikan to improve oppression efficiency. And yet here we are on this platform he bought for $44 billion to enable free speech, ranting about him. He started censoring people within hours of losing the argument. Yeah. I hope he doesn't lose his security clearance. You forgot TRT and Adderall. He paid to be in the government fair and square. That's probably true. That's probably true. Right? Need to revoke his clearances and government appointments. He's not an elected official, so it should be straightforward. We should all write to the Trump campaign or something. After he's removed from government, we can work on cutting his company's government contracts. Dark MAGA. For Trump to gain some trust back, he needs to end Doge before it even starts to keep out Elon and Vivek. Start a new Doge to accomplish that task. You can't start a new Doge. The whole reason it was called the Department of Government Efficiency was a tip of the cap, if you will, to Elon's favorite cryptocurrency. Like, it's like these people don't even understand what's happening. Right? But you guys see, Trumpety Trump is standing by his man. Right? He's standing by his man. Right? And Trump has, he's still, yelling about Biden. He truths out a lot of stuff. Trump's gift to American. You could qualify for $1,000 in free silver. Y'all, should I click that ad and get $1,000 in free silver? I don't think so. Like, this is a montage of this poor woman, of people slowly coming to the realization that, Biden was not cut out for all this. What does it say about MAGA here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Somebody posted the Epstein Islands visitors. Donald Trump's on there. I love how he's mysteriously been taken off the list just on Truth Social. What is this? Other side of the story. OSOS. President Trump said he will drain the swamp. He just wasn't referring to politicians. He was referring to anyone that may have been involved with child sex trafficking. And that includes entertainers, athletes, everybody. Is that what he really meant about that, guys? Yeah. Yeah. What is this? Nothing better than being at home. This is Laura Trump. A prayer for President Donald Trump and his nominee for cabinet. Dearest loving Father, I'm tired of being knocked down again and again. I'm weary of the attacks upon my life and upon my soul. Won't you defend me, Lord? Rise up, oh Heavenly Father. Rise up and fight for me. My wounds and my hurt are only part of my story, but they're not who I am. I'm done being a victim. I'm finished believing Satan's lies. Cast him out, oh Lord. In Jesus' name, cast out the enemy now. The only thing left, the only thing that matters is sweet Jesus holding out his hand, lifting me up, embracing me as his restored child. Let me know that your victory begins inside with the conquest of my heart, with Christ as my Savior and King. To him go all honor, all glory, and all thanks from the bottom of my heart, from the depths of my saved soul. In Jesus' name, amen. So no wars. Trump 2025. President Trump and our beautiful First Lady Melania Trump back into the White House. That is way too much of a hashtag. That's never going to catch on. This is not even a real picture. What is this? Prayers are powerful. God bless America. Okay, sure. When the we got Pepe memes. Oh, I got to go back to the MAGA. Oh, no, I wanted to look at MAGA. Also, guys, can we take a moment of silence for the greatest president of my lifetime, Mr. President Jimmy Carter? He passed away yesterday. And, yeah. Just take a moment of silence for Jimmy Carter. All right, guys. I realized that my kid's game was coming in there. Godspeed, Jimmy. Yeah. Oh, he was a good one. He was a good one. Yeah, but they just have they're just obsessed with talking about the whole Diddy thing. Oh, this is another conspiracy that's happening here. Okay. If you guys didn't know, but this is something to look into. Elon has said this sounds fishy. So maybe they're going to actually look into it. I don't know. Okay. But, I don't want to search for anything on Spotlight, but thank you. So the parents of OpenAI whistleblower hire a private investigator after their son allegedly took his own life and suggests their son was killed. And the parents of 26-year-old, I'm not going to pronounce this person's name at all correctly, so I'm not going to butcher it, say their son had plans to see them in January, claimed there were signs of a fight. I was the last person to talk to him. He was happy, not depressed or anything, and it was his birthday week. Said his father. He made plans to see us in January. This is the last phone conversation he had with anyone. He went into his apartment and never came out. How can anyone believe there was no note left? His mother said. And there was nobody else on the scene. That doesn't mean they can't just come to a conclusion. And we have seen the bloodshots in the bathroom, signs of a fight in the bathroom. The tragedy in San Francisco happened 3 months after he accused OpenAI of violating copyright law in their development of ChatGPT. Right? And then we have that guy. Europe needs to fund its own security. America's here to guarantee not to be Europe's wallet. It's like, this is what people think why we should get out of NATO. Like, that's not, God, the anti-Biden stuff is just wild. It's just wild. Sure glad justice denied by 46 won't be by 47. Why? What did Laura Loomer say? President Trump's appeal denied despite serious questions of bias surrounding Judge Kaplan. So what's he going to do? Unseat the judge that's holding him accountable? Yeah. I would not put past him. That I would not put past him. But you see how they talk about MAGA here on Truth? It's all pro MAGA. There's not one dissenter amongst them that is like, President Trump, I'm confused. Here we go. We elected you to stop the insane waste of our tax money, and you're backing a guy who tried to put through a something, I don't know what that CR, with things like 5 million to see how homosexual mice react to cocaine while listening to Pink Floyd in it. I don't understand you backing this guy. I'm tired of my hard-earned money being wasted by DC. Nobody is retruthing Fustercluck. I can't even imagine why not. I don't even know why not. OpenAI expands DC numbers as they expect friendlier reception by Trump administration. Interesting. Trump and OpenAI are kind of, they're working together. You ever notice that not one H-1B visa grantee has ever served in any U.S. military branch? That's actually not true. Like, people say stupidest things. Oh, continuing resolution. Thank you. Oh, now what? Thank you. Please make sure that those over 7 billions won't sneak into our country through unfinished Texas border fence and depress labor rates even more, making the U.S. a third world country. What? Trump and MAGA have promised a wall 2016 to 2020, but the U.S. got an unfinished fence instead. All are sneaking through the holes, and buses from Texas unload hundreds of thousands of border rapists into New York City homeless shelters. What? It's just like a whole bunch of just gobbledygook. Who's that? Oh, she's fun. This is a dummy. It's not a real person. But what are we? It's almost cleanup time for illegal aliens. This is what they think they're doing. She put on her husband's combat boots and she thinks she looks tough. Hashtag Kofefi. Oh, what are they saying about? Sure, George Santos. Come on, guys. Is anyone actually listening to George Santos? This is just redonkulous. Okay, they really like this song, Victim of Time. Here's Trump with his, his fake sauce bloodshot wound. Looking tough. Looking tough. He's got the right stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous to me. Like, it's just nothing. But you go on X, okay, and you type in MAGA, and you get a little bit different results, right? So let's go to the latest stuff. Let's go to the newest things that have just come out. Okay, MAGA Michelle, right? This is a reply. No one in Congress should have dual citizenship. If they can't give up their citizenship to another country, then they aren't fully committed to ours. Is there anybody in our Congress with dual citizenship? Is that even a thing? Are there members of Congress. Oh, two S's with, oh, see, it's like Google's listening, guys. Can you have dual citizenship? Uh-huh. But it still didn't. Okay, so this is the Snopes that's going to fact check it. Do all these U.S. officials hold dual citizenship? Yeah, this all started with, the birtherism of Barack Obama, right? So no, Snopes, I'm not giving you my email, but thank you though. Okay, so they're saying that these people in the Senate and these people in the House all have dual citizenship. Oh, and it's a miracle. They're all Democrats. They're all Democrats, right? So right. So they have to be a natural. So the president has to be 35 and a natural born citizen and resided in the country for 14 years. For Senate members, you have to have been a citizen for 9 years and be 30. And for the House, citizenship requirement is only 7 years and you must be 25. So no, nobody, I mean, however, Jewish persons setting foot in Israel does not immediately make them a citizen. Right. Senators, if a member or former member of Congress was actually a citizen of both the U.S. and Israel, we would know. Senators Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer, who are both Jewish, have explicitly stated they do not hold Israeli citizenship. Okay? Okay. I mean, they don't like Omar, but I don't think, this woman here, I don't think that she has dual citizenship. It doesn't even say, Pew Research. Immigrants and children of immigrants make at least 14% of the 117th Congress. Okay. There are 18 foreign-born members of the 117th Congress. This was written in 2021. Okay. 17 representatives and 1 senator, Mazie Hirono from Hawaii, who was born on, I believe, a military base in Japan, but I could be wrong. At least 58 other members, including 42 in the House and 16 in the Senate, were born in the United States or its territories to at least 1 immigrant parent, according to Pew Research. The 18 immigrant lawmakers in the current Congress represent just 3% of all voting members, a lower share than foreign-born share of Congresses many decades ago. For example, about 10% of members in the first and much smaller Congress, 1789 to 1791, like the first Congress, were foreign-born. People forget these guys who founded our country, who were our first Congress people, who signed the Declaration of Independence, who signed the Constitution, were not from here. They were from other places. Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton, right? Was from another country. He wasn't from here. Okay? Most of those signers weren't from here. The founding fathers were not all white, and they were not all American. They weren't all born here on this soil. George Washington was. We know that. Right? But do your research, guys. Do your research. Okay? People have been coming here since day one. Right? Here's the first Congress. It had the most percentage of foreign-born people, 10%. It's like, guys, it's not that hard to figure it out. I don't understand also if you do the research on your own family tree, okay, Everybody here. And we all have that one person in our family that's obsessed with like trying to research themselves back to certain things. My grandmother, my mom's mom, was obsessed with like finding royal lineage back in England. You know, all of that kind of bullshit, right? So she did a lot, like just dedicated her life, her adult life, to trying to trace our lineage, guys. This woman died in 1988. Okay, so you have to understand the research and the time and effort she had to put in to make phone calls and trace family crests and like all this other shit. That was all done in libraries, and there was no internet. There was no internet, guys. It was 1988 when she passed away, when I was 12. And she was, 63 years old. So she had spent like the 50s and 60s doing this research in the 70s, and then that, almost the whole 80s. Okay. So, but she was obsessed with finding our lineage. Was born in Charlestown, Nevis. Right. But that's another country though, right? I mean, like, where's Nevis? I don't know where that is. Oh, it's an island in the Caribbean. Oh, look how pretty that is. Right? Yeah. So he was born right there in Charlestown, which of course was a slave port. This looks extremely beautiful. It's an island in the Caribbean Sea that forms part of the inner arc of the Leeward Islands chain of the West Indies. Okay. What country owns Nevis? St. Kitts. There you go. Where it became an independent state in association with the United Kingdom. On February 27th, 1967, the islands were granted full internal self-government, with the United Kingdom retaining responsibility for defense and foreign affairs. They're like, guys, you're a teeny tiny island. We don't give two fucks. Do whatever you want. Your wife's family is huge. Yeah, I don't know if I'm related to the Spencers, but like, you did stay at a Holiday Inn once. Oh, Aubrey, you kill me. You kill me. Yeah, so my grandmother was like obsessed with that. And according to her research, okay, this is according to my grandmother's research, our family on her side, on her father's side, are descendants of Benjamin Rush. Now, this is one of the founding fathers that's like super hard because he had like a very small family. A lot of his kids passed away. Okay. But if true, I'm proud to be a descendant of him. I have claimed that before, but this is Benjamin Rush. My grandmother definitely had a nose like that, so I could see why she'd be like, that's my great grandpappy. This is Benjamin Rush. Okay, he is a signer there. There's a lot. He's Dr. Benjamin Rush. Don't get it twisted. He's an American revolutionary, a founding father of the United States, and a signatory to the U.S. Declaration of Independence, a civic leader in Philadelphia, where as a physician, politician, and social reformer, humanitarian, and educator, and the founder of the Dickinson College. Okay. Now, he was born in Philly, PA. He had two children, Richard and James. And then he went to Princeton, of course, West Nottingham, and the University of Edinburgh. Okay. He had the following siblings: John, James, Jacob, Rachel, and Rebecca. Yes. There he is with his little glasses on his head for his portrait. So, he was an abolitionist. And he also did a lot of, he's the father of modern psychiatry and the founder of American medicine. He did a lot of stuff. Okay. I might be related to your wife, Aubrey. We're like basically cousins. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. I mean, like my family is very interesting. Okay. Because on the one hand, we're told on my grandmother's side, that we trace back to this dude. Also, she claims roots, as they say, where she's from, in the Wickersham Empire. When Washington and Oregon were one thing, when they were the Oregon Territory, my triple great grandparents, came out fucking Oregon Trail style in a, horse-drawn buggy type situation, the big old wagons and shit. And they just threw their stake down in a plot of land and kicked all the indigenous peoples off of it and called it theirs out there in Walla Walla. And they had hundreds of acres there for many years, my family. And my triple great grandmother, Clara Livingston, who was like, her mom was a Wickersham and her dad was a Livingston. Anyway, there you go. Breaking news, Aubrey, we're related. There you go. America's tiniest town on the planet. So she was the first white woman. This is the claim to, this is the type of history that my grandmother did. She was the first white woman born in the Oregon Territory. My great-great-great-grandmother, Clara Livingston. So, we have that. And then on my dad's side of the family, right? So I have my dad's dad, my grandpa, who was an illegal alien, came here from Greece during the Turk-Ottoman War. His family sent him off so that he would survive because there was like a whole bunch of shenanigans going on there. And he sailed in a boat from Greece to Canada, had some cousin or some shit smuggle him across the border, right? And then once he got into America, he met my great-grandpa, my popo, Burl Watts, and started working for him as a grave digger. He chose his very own name off one of those gravestones, Emil John Sova, because he thought that sounded American. And then met my grandmother. They had babies, and here I am. Okay. But on my grandmother's side of the family, okay, they're also steeped deep in the American roots. Okay. The Wattses, if you trace that back, they were not good people. They were slave owners in the South. And that makes me disgusted to my core every single day. Yeah. Yep. So it's kind of a clash, my family, all these things, merging. And then there's me. My mom and my dad met, and somehow those two neuroses came together to form this one. So there you go. There you go. America has, crazy roots, okay? But if you pretend that your family at some point, literally, unless your family just came on a boat or a plane or, whatever, into this country within the last, 75 years, your family traces back to some form of slavery, some form of genocide, some form of, not good bullshit that this country has been founded on. Okay. So there's not one person who's born into this country, okay, in the last 200 years that doesn't literally have roots, as they say, in that roots in, genocide or slavery. Unfortunately, I have roots in both, and that makes me angry on the inside. But I'm a good, I used to call a joke and say, I'm a good old fashioned American mutt. I'm English, Irish, Scottish, Dutch, German, and Greek, but mostly Greek and Irish. That's what I am. I mean, there's a lot of things that went into the genetics here. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, exactly, Aubrey. Exactly. Right. It's just, there's nothing here, right? Your family has origins with Roger Williams, and also one of the first colonial families in Rhode Island. On her mom's side, there's literal genocide of the Pequots. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't understand what people's obsession is with America first and Americans first and like all this stuff. Guys, we've been a country for 248 years. Okay. That's it. And in that time, the founding fathers, okay, and the founding peoples of America did not just intermingle with each other and then create more people to get us to 300 million. How many? I don't even know how many people are currently residing in America. Population of the United States right now, guys, is 340.1 million people as of July 1st of this year. Okay. So 340 million people. What was the population of the United States in 1776? 2.5 million. 2.5 million people. So we're at 130x. Okay. 130 times larger than we were in 1776. That did not, the first census was held in 1790, and that gave us a population of 3,929,214 people. And that did not include the slaves on plantations because they were not considered people and they did not get counted. Okay. So there was actually more people here. Yeah. And also, let's just look over these factoids here. Okay. Let's look over these factoids. So in 1776, it was approximately 2.5 million. Oh, now I got to move myself again. That's all right. It's all right. Okay. Then the population of the United States has grown more than 130 times since then, reaching an estimate of 339.7 million in 2023. The first census in the United States was conducted in 1790 and recorded a population of 3,929,214. Okay. The population of the 13 colonies rapidly grew due to a number of factors. Good health, fewer deaths among young people meant that more people reached reproductive age. There you go. The Great Migration. What was the Great Migration, you ask? Let's look it up. What's the Great? It was a mass movement of African Americans from the rural South to the urban North, Midwest, and West that took place between 1910 and 1970. Once again, Black people building up America as usual. Okay? It was one of the largest movements of people in the United States history. It transformed America into an urban nation and changed its social, political, and cultural fabric. How many people was that? Approximately 6 million people. They just moved out of the South. Your uncles and aunts and dad were part of the Great Migration? There you go, Aubrey. 6 million African Americans moved from the South to all northern areas in a 60-year period. Now they're worried about, but I mean, also, like, how did our population grow? Because we let immigrants into this country. Immigration policy was not that complicated back in the day, right? On for all these people who want to be like, oh, we're going to be constitutionalists, right? And we're only going to do, what the founding fathers would do. Let's see, what was the immigration policy of So in 1776, the United States essentially had open immigration. Oh, ew, open borders? What? With no significant federal restrictions on who could immigrate, meaning there were very few limitations on who could enter the country. This period was marked by a relatively free and open immigration policy with no border patrol or strict federal regulations on immigration. as the country was focused on establishing itself as an independent nation. Citizenship was based on allegiance. People were considered citizens if they resided in the United States at the time of independence and pledged allegiance to the new government. First Naturalization Act came in 1790, okay, would later establish the process for becoming a citizen, which initially limited citizenship to free white persons. Okay, so between 1776 and 1790, it was like, come one, come all to our great circus here in America. Bring your people. Right? And then in 1790, you had to be a free white person. Okay? Like, yeah. So the Naturalization Act, that's the first bingo bongo. Let's look at that. Okay. I love when Google listens to me while I'm doing this. Okay. So the Naturalization Act of 1790 was the first law to establish uniform rules for granting citizenship to foreign-born people in the United States. Okay. To be eligible, a person had to be a free white person who resided in the United States for at least 2 years, demonstrated good character, and sworn allegiance to the Constitution. That's it. Children of naturalized citizens under 21 who lived in the United States were also considered citizens. Okay. Because people were having babies when they were like 14 or 15. Children born abroad to U.S. citizens were also considered citizens. To apply, a person had to go to a common law court of record in a state where they had lived for at least 1 year. That was it. Just go to the court. Boom. This passed by the first Congress. Okay. That was it. That was it. Now, to become a citizen, right, is like insane. It's insane, y'all. It's insane. Right? So let's go back one. Okay, let's look at this here. We are a nation of immigrants. Like, so let's go up to the top here. All right. So immigration is a sensitive topic. No. God, listen up, website. I'm not going to do it. With many moving parts that have evolved over the centuries shortly after the United States won its independence from Great Britain in 1776. The evolution of the various laws associated with immigration that have passed since tend to reflect the politics and migrant flows of the times. They still do today. The first major piece of U.S. legislation, the Naturalization Act, we just went over that. Okay. Later, the residency requirement was extended to 5 years in 1795, 14 years in 1798, and then back to 5 years in 1802. 1798, man, they were fucking like, bro, you have to have been here for at least as long as my daughter hit puberty or you can't be a citizen. Applicants were also required to be a free white person. Following the Alien Enemies Act in 1798, which authorized imprisonment or deportation of males aged 14 and up of a hostile nation during times of war, and permitted the president to detain, relocate, or deport alien enemies during war. The next piece of major legislation, the Immigration Act of 1864, was designed to address labor shortages. Oh no, when you kick a bunch of people out of the country, all of a sudden, you don't got nobody to do the work. During the Civil War, and made contracts for immigrant labor formed abroad enforceable by U.S. courts. Oh, did you guys want to win the Civil War? Did you guys need immigrants to get it done? Yeah, you did. You did. We didn't win the Revolutionary War without immigrants. We didn't win the Civil War without immigrants. We have won no wars without immigrants, guys. That's a fact. Over the course of the next 65 years, in 1870, a citizenship right was extended to those of African origin. Shortly thereafter, various iterations of the Immigration Act of 1875 brought forth a guys, this is over 140. It's 149 years old, this act. Brought forth a series of restrictions, including prohibiting the immigration of criminals and contracting forced Asian laborers, which was now a felony. Oh, you guys didn't like that they contracted forced Asian laborers to build the railroads in this country? You didn't like that? You guys are mad at all the dim sum restaurants that popped up? What's going on? Now it's a felony? The Immigration Act of 1875, also called the Page Act, was the nation's first restrictive immigration statute. This is where they are pulling from to do Project 2025. They're pulling from a 149-year-old document. Around the time, in 1874, a phrase appeared in an editorial. The Daily State Journal of Alexandria said that we are a nation of immigrants. 1874. We had to be reminded that we're a nation of immigrants. The phrase has become deeply embedded in the narrative and fabric of American identity for nearly 150 years. But now all of a sudden, we want to pretend that don't nobody's family tree trace to somewhere outside these places, even though you're not an indigenous person from this fucking land. I don't even have no indigenous roots, y'all. I'm foreign all the way. Okay? None of my people had come from here. Like, when are people going to get that? Do your family history. Do your DNA test. Find out. Because guess what? You don't come from here either. Exactly. Oh, now what? Exactly. The railroad's done. We don't need you. The election is won. We don't need you. Same. Okay. From its inception, however, the idea of the United States as a nation of immigrants with its connotations of inclusivity and racial harmony coexisted with the racial exclusions of federal immigration laws and policies that ignored the rights of Native Americans and still do, disregarded the legacy of enslaved Africans and excluded Asians. Yeah. 2 years after the celebrated phrase, the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed the government's capacity to restrict immigration as a matter of national sovereignty. Sound familiar? The ruling essentially recognized the federal government's authority to regulate immigration, and it confirmed Congress's exclusive power to make immigration law. Okay? So it's still in the hands of Congress to make or, propose any immigration law. Significant federal legislation followed, restricting immigration. 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act was signed, banning Chinese laborers from immigrating for 10 years and allowed for the deportation of unauthorized Chinese immigrants. Does this sound familiar to anybody about what they're trying to do right now? Bans on criminals, those with contagious diseases. No more Typhoid Mary and other groups of people. The act also made it illegal to bring unauthorized immigrants into the country illegally. Okay. The act also created a Federal Bureau of Immigration. The country's first federal immigration station, Ellis Island, was opened 10 years later in 1892. Okay. So that was the official port of entry for immigrants, right? From its inception, however, I already read that. So then we get to 1903. Okay. The first U.S. law restricting immigration based on immigrants' political beliefs was created with the Immigration Act of 1903, also known as the Anarchist Exclusion Act. Okay. So now we're not separating religion and state, right? Now we're putting religion with the state. Okay. Which banned anarchists, beggars, polygamists, and importers of prostitutes. Importers. Can you imagine that? Like, what do? I'm an importer of prostitutes. You're welcome. Oh my God. The 1917 Immigration Act, built upon the 1907 Gentleman's Aggrievement, moved by Theodore Roosevelt, that restricted immigration from Japan if the U.S. pledged not to ban Japanese immigrants if Japan would end immigration to the U.S. Okay, so Teddy was like, y'all, if you just tell people to stop coming, we won't put a ban on it. 1917 Immigration Act went further by restricting all immigrants from so-called Asiatic barred zone that included Asians beyond the terms of the Chinese Exclusion Acts and also the 1907's Gentleman Agreement. They really had a thing about Asians in the 1900s. What is the deal with that? This whole China thing has been going on for hundreds of years. We're talking 150 years now of excluding Asians. What the fuck, America? The Immigration Act resulted in the passage of a literacy test and specified other excludable groups such as idiots, imbeciles, and others deemed undesirable based on perceived mental, physical, and moral capacity. Characteristics used to exclude Labiqua immigrants, criminal background, political views, and occupation. Right? What the fuck? Quotas started surfacing with the Emergency Quota Act in 1921. Okay, so we went 4 years. They were like, fuck all these Asians. Fuck everybody. You're an idiot. You can't come here. You're an imbecile. You can't come. You're fucking gay. Get the fuck out of here. And then 4 years later, like, oh shit, we don't got nobody to do anything. Shit. So quotas started surfacing with the Emergency Quota Act in 1921 and the 1924 Immigration Act, which included, they kept that Asian Exclusion Act on there. You got to keep that in there. It wasn't going to go through. The Emergency Quota Act created numerical quotas based on nationality. However, nationality laws did not pertain to countries in the Western Hemisphere. This law capped immigration at $350,000 people annually. The Immigration Act of 1924, or the Johnson-Reed Act, restricted immigration further. Okay, they halved it down to 165. Okay, quotas were equal to 2% of foreign-born individuals, respective nationalities from the 1890 census, with a minimum of 100 immigrants. With longer histories of migration, Northern and Western European countries were favored in the new law. Okay. While migration from Eastern and Southern European countries was limited due to newer immigration patterns. Asian immigration continued to be banned, while a formal restriction on Japanese immigration that denied U.S. entry to anyone ineligible to become a citizen due to race was added. This act limited immigration eligibility to whites and people of African descent. Okay, no Asians allowed. But America's not racist, guys. America's not racist at all. The 1924 legislation was the first to permanently limit immigration to the United States. It instituted the National Origins Quota System, created preferences for family unification and occupation, and authorized the Border Patrol. So 1924, guys, which was created via an appropriations bill in 1924. Okay. Now, 1952 rolls around. This held for 30 years. Okay. It wasn't until the Immigration and Nationalization Act in 1952 that a significant reforms would resurface. INA continued and updated the national origins and created a quota system to 1/6 of 1% of each nationality's population based on 1920 census. This law, why are we going on the 1920 census? A 30-year-old census. Anyway, this law created quota preferences for skilled immigrants. Okay, the H-1B visa, skilled immigrants, and family reunification. Additionally, under this law, political activities, ideology, and mental health, as well as other criteria, was the basis for exclusion and deportation. The INA also explicitly barred lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer Labiqua people, migrants, as sexual deviants. a ban that lasted until when? In 1990, when I was a freshman in high school. Additionally, INA incorporated but we're not anti-gay, guys. We're not anti-gay. We're not anti-gay here in America. We're not anti-Asian. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Additionally, INA incorporated immigration statutes into one body of law, which was compiled under Title 8 of the U.S. Code. Okay. As a precursor to sweeping legislation in 1965, 13 years later, President JFK, John F. Kennedy, created a program that provided medical care, financial aid, help with education, resettlement, and child care for Cuban refugees. It became the Migration and Refugee Assistance Act and formalized the Cuban refugee program. The act also assisted individuals in the Western Hemisphere who fled their respective countries in fear of persecution involving race, religion, and or political opinion. In 1965, the Immigration and Nationality Act, which enacted sweeping immigration law, created a new 7-category preference system. This is how it got so complicated, y'all. It went from literally showing up and being like, oh, yo, I'm down with America. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Pledge allegiance to fucking whatever. The Constitution, you got it. Fuck yeah. And that was it. Then you're American. Now we have a 7-category preference system favoring family unification, skilled immigrants, rather than country quotas. The law also imposed the first limits on immigration from the Western Hemisphere. Oh, white people! Fucking racist. With 120,000 annual visas with no specific country visas, while the Eastern Hemisphere was granted 170,000 visas annually with a cap of 20,000 per country. So generous. So generous. Before then, Latin Americans had been allowed to enter the U.S. without much of the way of restrictions. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, I'm sorry. Can we repeat that again? Latin Americans had been allowed to enter the U.S. without much in the way of restrictions. Up until when? 1965, you say. My goodness. People could just walk into America across the border from Mexico and just come here? What? And the people of Tejas were okay with that? What? I mean, guys, how do you think all these fucking farms got here? Get real. How do you think we grow all this shit? Avocados from Mexico. Like, come on, guys. Since the enactment of the Immigration and Nationality Act, immigration has been dominated by people born where? In Asia and Latin America, with European countries accounting for about 10% of new arrivals. So in 1965, they reversed the flow on the pump. And now, there's too many Asians or something. I don't know. The first significant amendment occurred through the 1965. Okay, we already read that. Other immigration acts followed, including the Immigration Nationality Act Amendment of 1976, when I was born, in 1978, and the Refugee Act of 1990. The 1976 amendment included the Western Hemisphere's preference system and the 20,000 per year visa limits, which affected Mexico mostly, while the 1978 amendment established a worldwide limit. 1978, they were like, fuck everybody, of 290 visas annually, which removed the previous caps. Okay. So then they were just like, that's all we're taking every year. 290,000 people. That's it. Good luck. Good luck to all of you who want to come here. Okay. The Refugee Act of 1980, 2 years later, created a policy for admission while adopting the United Nations refugee definition, removing refugees from the preference system, thereby reducing the annual visa allocation. Okay, so now we have a new definition of refugee. All right. The Reagan administration enacted the the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, which was designed as an immigration workforce measure. This bill prohibited employers from hiring undocumented workers and also attempted to regularize the status of some undocumented workers if they showed that they had lived continuously in the U.S. since January 1982. Over 3 million non-citizens achieved legal status, but this cutoff date excluded many Central American immigrants who fled civil wars in their countries after the deadline. Yeah. Guys, if you don't remember, there were a lot of civil wars happening in Central and South America during the 80s. And they were like, well, we set that hard deadline of 1982. So sorry. So sorry you fled later. Okay, then in 1990, it continued the affirmation of family unification as a priority, which is how Melania got all of her family here. Okay. For immigration visas, and also increased the allotment of employment-based visas. The act also established a new category based on diversity to increase immigration from countries with low rates of immigration to the U.S. The act increased immigration cap to 700,000 in fiscal years 92 to 94. And who was president then? Poppy Bush. Followed by 650,000 in 1995. 675,000, sorry. So like the Congress then, when Clinton came in, took away 25,000. So actually a Democrat lowered the immigration cap. Interesting. It also updated preference categories and ended restrictions on Labiqua migrants and created temporary protected status, which allowed the Attorney General to grant individuals from specific countries temporary protection from deportation and employment authorization. Southwest Border Security was the focus of the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act in 1996. The act increased border enforcement, including mandates to build fences at the highest areas of incidents along the southwest border. So we've been trying to build a wall, guys, since 1996, since I was 20. Okay. That's 28 years, y'all. 28 years, if you guys aren't doing the math. Okay. The next major piece of legislation was in 2002. This is where the whole ball game changes. Of course, this is in the post 9/11 era. Okay. Was the 2002 Homeland Security Act in the wake of 9/11. This act transferred all of the functions within the U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Service to a new Department of Homeland Security. This is very important, guys, because this is when things went for the last 22 years, okay? The new DHS also included U.S. Customs and Border Protection, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. The Secure Fence Act allowed 4 years later, after legislation on immigration reform failed in the Senate. The new law mandated the construction of a double-layered fence some 700 miles long that's still not completed to this day. We're still waiting 22 years later. The act also called for increased staffing and technology at the southwest border. That's under Georgie Porgy Jr. Okay, Georgie Porgy Jr. put in all of these departments, okay, and started trying to build the wall that Trump said Mexico was going to pay for, that Biden has now auctioned off. Okay, we're all caught up on the wall. Immigration law took yet another turn during Barack in 2012, who through an executive order enabled young adults ages 15 to 30 who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children to apply for temporary deportation relief and a 2-year work permit. Okay, this executive order has allowed some 665,000 applicants to be approved under DACA. A second executive order in 2014 allowed some authorized immigrant parents who lived in the U.S. for at least 5 years with children who are U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents to apply for deportation relief and a 3-year work permit. Also expanded eligibility for DACA to any unauthorized immigrant that entered the U.S. illegally as a child. I have known many people, because I grew up in California, whose parents, one of my friends, okay, when she was 8, her parents told her, we're going to Disneyland, and they never left. They did, in fact, go to Disneyland, but they stayed in California. Now, is that her fault that as an 8-year-old, her parents were like, we're blowing this joint in Mexico and we're fucking going to Cali? No. She had no control over that. But under DACA, she was able to get permanent citizenship. She had children. She'd been paying taxes her whole adult life, guys. This is what people don't understand, is that illegal immigrants pay taxes. They pay into the system that they do not reap any benefits from. Okay? During the Donald Trump presidency, well, he wasn't president in 2017, but that's okay. Oh, yes, he was in 2016. I keep forgetting. I wiped that from my memory, guys. Immigration issues arose with regularity from DACA to DHS to sanctuary cities to border security and immigration enforcement improvements. If the notion of immigration issues across political party lines wasn't noticeable during the Obama administration, it certainly was during the Trump presidency. Okay. Interesting that during the first African Americans presidency, okay, all of a sudden we have tons of border issues. All of a sudden we have the rise of birtherism. Okay. People to this day, MAGA people to this day still do not believe that Barack Hussein Obama is an actual legit U.S. citizen. They also believe that Trump was president the whole time Biden's been president and that President Biden was a robot. So there's that. But we didn't, when we had Georgie Porgy and when we had, nobody questioned Georgie Porgy's origins. Nobody questioned Bill Clinton's origins. Nobody questioned Ronald Reagan's origins or Jimmy Carter's or anybody. Not one president in the history of presidents. They were like, bro, are you sure you were born here? Are you sure? Can somebody check John Adams' birth certificate for me? Yeah, I don't know about that. He looks fishy. No, just Barack Obama. They did the same thing to Kamala when she was running. Oh, well, is she really a citizen? Because her parents were foreign. Oh, Kamala's an anchor baby. All this bullshit. Right? So it's not a shock to me that if you look at the immigration laws and the history of the immigration laws, they started out like, get your fucking ass over here. It's a party. It's a party. It's America, y'all. What? Boop, 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 And then all of a sudden it became like, are you white? Then no, you cannot come here. I'm so sorry. We're full. Next. Okay. Caroline, if you're going to parse hairs with me, come on now. You know what I'm saying. Let's be good. You're parsing hairs. You're parsing a hair of a hair. But yeah, everyone gets that benefit. Everybody gets that benefit. But they're not going to get Social Security. They're not going to get Social Security. They're not going to get, Medicare, Medicaid, that kind of shit. They can't get that. Right? Okay. It was during the Trump presidency in 2 executive orders issued on January 25th, 2017. One wasn't good enough. He did 2. President Trump signed the Enhancing Public Safety in the Interior of the United States. Wow. Which introduced penalties against sanctuary cities that limited the enforcement and prosecution of federal immigration laws, included making them ineligible for federal grants. The second order called for the construction of a wall along the United States southern border with additional detention facilities to be built near the border that would house individuals residing in or entering the U.S. without legal permission, which would house individuals residing in, okay, or entering the U.S. without legal permission. So we're going to round them up and put them in those detention camps. Put the kids in the cages. Put the kids in the cages. Okay, as many scholars have shown, U.S. immigration laws have often degraded or excluded various populations based on criteria that include race, nationality, politics, occupation, gender, and sexuality. Yes. Thank you. Thank you to Steve Carr, who wrote this article in 2021. Okay. Yeah. Here's a migrant worker picking strawberries, if you like strawberries. Here's the border wall, still not done. Here's the Statue of Liberty. Okay. And let's go to that because many people are asking for that. Okay. Plaque on the Statue of Liberty. I want to get the whole thing. Okay. So here's the whole New Colossus poem. Okay. It's from Emma Lazarus from 1883. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame. And if you guys don't know who that giant statue, right? That was, what fucking island was that on? You can still see Colossus. The Colossus statue that the boats used to have to go under the Colossus statue to enter, right? Okay. With conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor with that Twin Cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Okay. So in 1883, this was a gift from France to America. They're like, we made you this thing. Here it is. Be our friend. There's another Statue of Liberty, a smaller one in France. You can go see it there. But that was the vibe. It was like, we're building a new country. This is the place where anything is possible, right? We've all seen Far and Away, okay, right? Tom Cruise with slightly long hair, falling in love with Nicole Kidman and terrible Irish accents. It was great, okay? Where people came here and they just rode horses across the West and, just stole land. I mean, like, that's the American dream, right? So, yeah, I don't get it. How we started out so fucking cool. And now we're basically like, listen, if you cannot recite the Greek alphabet backwards and then create a poem, not from ChatGPT, on why America is the greatest country in the world in the next 30 seconds, then you cannot become an American. And it's like, yeah, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, guys. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth that this is what America has become at this point. All right, let me get to your comments and questions here. Let's see here. Yeah, everybody's talking about their immigration here. Their immigrant. I was made of both foreign and domestic parts, Mexican and French Canadian here. There you go, Truth Seeker. Let's get to the questions. I saw your comments, Aubrey. Thank you for being here. No questions? Not one question. Did I spell it wrong? No, I did not. Nobody has a question. Just comments today. Okay, fine, everybody. Fine. All right. Well, here's the deal. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Listen, just listening while you're working. Oh, I love you too, Detroit Stacy. I love you too. Everybody's really upset to find out Janet Jackson is not who we thought she was. That's okay. So guys, tomorrow we're going to be back with more Project 2025. We're going to keep reading this. We're at the Council on Environmental Quality. Okay. Don't forget, go to the store, buy some stuff. It's 15% off. ohnomerica.com. Go get in on it. Okay. I just made a look at this water bottle. It's fabulous. Okay. Go check out the digs. Okay. Get in on it. Go get yourself some stuff. It's awesome. These mugs are amazing. I don't have an ohnomerica one, but I do have one for my other channel, and it's the same mug, but just with different stuff on it. So there you go. I'm getting the ohnomerica water bottle scent. It's just shipped out, so I should have that in the next couple days, and then you guys will see that on the channel. I don't know if I got your emails yet or not, Aubrey, because I haven't had a chance to check. The plumber was here, so that's what I was dealing with. All right, guys, and we are on track. Let me just check. It updates the hours like every 24 hours. So I won't see the next update until tomorrow. But as of right now, I'll show you guys. We are at 2,837 public watch hours, guys. Look how close that is. Look how close that is. We're at 645 subscribers. We gotta keep pumping that up too. So if you're not subscribed, please do, because I need to get to that 1,000 to unlock all of the YouTube fabulousness. Okay. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you're on the replay, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like on your way in or way out. All right. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. All right. And I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No, MERICA. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and given you a little sparkle of MERICA. Thank you to my mods.